May 24, 1941. Dawn. Two lethal German warships race through the frigid waters of the North Atlantic. The heavy cruiser Prinz Eugen leads the formation. Behind her looms a fortress of guns and steel, battleship Bismarck. Bismarck, the largest warship afloat, is on her maiden voyage, a top-secret mission, codenamed Exercise Rhine. Unknown to the Germans, 30 miles to the southeast, two British ships steer an intercept course at full speed. The battleship Prince of Wales and the pride of the British Navy, HMS Hood. Admiral Lancelot Holland commands the operation from Hood. Ted Briggs is an 18-year-old signalman.
Hood's reputation was fantastic. She was the be-all and end-all as far as we were concerned. Without a doubt, she was the most famous warship of any kind, of any country.
Hood is the embodiment of British sea power. At 5:37 a.m., 14 miles from the Germans, Hood shoots first. The shells land off Prince Eugen's starboard bow. A salvo from Prince of Wales quickly follows. The British shells miss their mark. British armor-piercing shells plunge into the sea. Huge columns of water erupt around the German ships, but Admiral Lutyens holds his fire. The British blast away. Shells scream over the German ships at almost 2,000 miles per hour. But Lutyens still refuses to return fire. Finally, a frustrated Captain Lindemann steps in and says, "I will not have my ship shot out from under my ass." Bismarck opens fire. Lethal one-ton shells tear toward Hood. Now, on May 24th, 1941, Hood and Bismarck open fire. Bismarck's first salvo barely misses, exploding just off Hood's starboard bow. Bismarck fires again. The German gunners zero in with deadly efficiency. The pride of the Royal Navy is squarely in their sights. May 24th, 1941. The most powerful warship afloat, the German battleship Bismarck and heavy cruiser Prinz Eugen, exchange fire with the pride of the British Navy, HMS Hood and Prince of Wales. Just 4 minutes into the battle, the Germans draw first blood. A shell rips through Hood's ammunition locker, exploding 4-inch anti-aircraft shells. A hurricane of shrapnel cuts down the men on the deck. From the compass platform, the highest point of Hood's bridge, Ted Briggs witnesses the carnage.
That hit penetrated at the base of the mainmast, and it caused a fire around the 4-inch ready-use lockers, which was creating one hell of a mess and killed quite a lot of people.
Another shell strikes Hood close to her main tower. The situation is desperate. At 8 miles, Admiral Holland orders a hard turn to port to bring her full broadside to bear. Bismarck fires her 8 15-inch guns. rangefinders locked on Hood. Seconds in flight, a single 1,700-pound armor-piercing shell plunges through Hood. Dead center. The armor-piercing shell penetrates deep into the bowels of the ship. The powder in a main magazine ignites. British crewmen on Prince of Wales watch in muted horror as a geyser of flames spews from Hood's ruptured deck. Then, a huge explosion buckles the hull, twisting and shearing the mighty ship in half. The bow lifts vertically into the air as her midsection sinks.
She'd gone about 30 degrees, 30, 40 degrees, I suppose. We realized that she just wasn't coming back. There was no order given to abandon ship. It wasn't necessary.
Ted Briggs and the men on the compass platform struggled to escape.
The flag lieutenant was just in front of me. The squadron navigating officer, Commander Warren, stood to one side to let me go through. He just went like that. Can't forget that.
Across the water, the Germans look on at their stricken adversary. As Hood slides beneath the waves, her forward turret fires a final defiant salvo before slipping into darkness.
I managed to get out of the starboard door of the compass platform, down the ladder to the Admiral's Bridge, which was directly underneath. And it was about halfway down that ladder when I became level with the water. And it was dragging me down.
Briggs is pulled deeper and deeper by the sinking ship.
I honestly thought I'd had it. It was then that I suddenly seemed to shoot to the surface. I came up and looked around, and there was the ship. About 50 yards away, like that. I panicked and turned and tried and swim away as fast as I could. When I looked around again, she'd gone. And there was a fire on the water where she'd been. There were only 3 of us that came to the surface. Of the other 1,418 were lost.
Bismarck now turns her attention to Prince of Wales. Prince of Wales wields plenty of firepower, 10 14-inch guns, but 8 of her guns are housed in complex new quadruple turrets that are untested and malfunctioning. Prince of Wales Captain John Leach orders a hard turn to starboard to avoid Hood's wreckage. Bismarck and Prince Eugen train her guns on the lone British ship. The German strategy is simple: put shells on the target. Bismarck and Prince Eugen rapid fire their main and secondary armament. But the withering German assault is too much for the battered battleship. She suffers 7 devastating hits. 14 men are dead, and her guns are jammed. After firing 23 salvos, Prince of Wales makes smoke and retreats to the southeast. Admiral Lutyens, aboard Bismarck, chooses not to follow. She's suffered 3 damaging hits from Prince of Wales. 2,000 tons of seawater flood her forward compartments, and her fuel tanks are ruptured. She's hemorrhaging precious oil.